In this video, we will explore the possibility to turn a 2D texture, like this one, just a grid, into a real 3D blanket, which has some fur-like structure. You can see that it is completely 3D. It's just a blanket. And we also reduce the color space, the number of colors allowable, so we can see the original photo has an infinite amount of colors, but after we have converted into the blanket, we only use a limited number of colors. And this is very easily achievable in Houdini. So let's see, what did we do? First we put down the grid and we simply give it UV, so we can see the UV quick shade, and we load the texture by using color map, and then we just scatter some points on the surface of the image, which also get the city color points from the image. So now we have lots of points. What we are going to do next is we are trying to construct a volume containing this image, and using the volume as the velocity field to advect these particles. So this is after the advection. We see that every particle is moving by using the volume trail. So we create a volume here. We see the volume, and we are just going to define some curve just on a plane and use these curves to create the velocity volume. So we use this curve's tangent. We can see the curve's tangent by enabling the tangent attribute. And let's use the visualizer to see the tangent. You can see this is the tangent, and we use the tangent in the volume. We simply sample the tangent and assign it to the volume, and then we blur it. So we have a volume, a velocity field, which can be used to drive to affect the particles. So we simply after we have moved the particles, we wanted to resample the texture, and then let's clean up the color. So we're basically done, but what I wanted to do now is to reduce the color space, so we can easily achieve by using the cluster. The cluster is usually used for the position. Let's say we have a grid. I wanted to cluster the grid by the position. So let's visualize the result. We have created multiple clusters by the position. But what we can do is that we can also think of the color CD as a 3D space. So we can cluster the color space. So what I would like to do in this example is simply to cluster the color space, and then for each of the cluster, I only assign one color to it. So that is to say we reduce the color. You see the difference? Yeah. And then we simply resample the curves and give it a arch-like structure, which is kind of like a fur. Just simply using some vex code to move the position, and then we are basically done. Just put the background. This is just the background. Just put a grid after the fur. Yeah. So that. Let's see it. This is before. This is after. And by the way, we can also use the original grid and put it into a vellum cloth to simulate it just like a cloth. And we can just use the point deform to deform our or this blanket. So we can actually put this blanket using the vellum to kind of simulate it.